Hello, Coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barca, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with this report claiming that Barcelona could sign Portuguese midfielder Ruben Neves in the month of January to replace Sergio Busquets. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Busquets, the veteran salary deferral could face some obstacles from La Liga due to contract situation. We are also going to be discussing about that. So guys, as we get right into that story, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. While Barcelona have had a solid summer of recruitment, one position that remains unaddressed is the backup for club captain Sergio Busquets. Barcelona have been linked with several names such as Aurélien Tchouaméni and Martin Zubimendi, among many others. However, due to there being a need of addressing more immediate concerns, the pursuit of a long-term heir for the veteran midfielder was put on the back burners. However, with Busquets' contract set to expire next year, Barca are now planning to bring in a player to replace the Spain captain during the January transfer window itself, rather than waiting for the next summer, according to Sport. And as per the report, the Catalan Giants' preferred player for that role is none other than Wolf and Portugal midfield mainstay Ruben Neves. The 25-year-old had been linked with a move to Barca this summer, while the likes of Manchester United and Arsenal were also interested. However, he is likely to stay put at the Molineux for the time being due to Wolves' demands for their prized asset. However, with Barcelona needing to sign a new long-term replacement for Busquets sooner rather than later, they plan to revisit their interest in Ruben Neves during the January transfer window, right after the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The report further adds that everything has already been discussed with the 25-year-old Portuguese international over a potential transfer to Spotify Camp Nou. And while it was initially planned for the next summer, the move could now be made as early as January 2023. Busquets started a new season on a disappointing note as he was sent off against Rayo Vallecano in the season opener. He will now miss the upcoming clash against Real Sociedad, with either Miralem Pjanic or Frankie de Jong expected to fill in for him at the Anoeta Stadium. Neither of them is seen as a long-term option as a replacement for Busquets, so Neves has been the chosen one and the move could be accelerated in January. With this season likely to be the last for captain Sergio Busquets, it is imperative for Barca to start thinking about what to do about his long-term replacement. I'm really surprised, honestly, that Barca are looking elsewhere when we know very well that players like Nico Gonzalez, who is from our academy, now is on loan to Valencia with great potential. We have even Frankie de Jong. If Frankie de Jong does not leave, Barca can still consider that. Those guys are all DMs by trade. And it's surprising that Barca look elsewhere when they know Frankie de Jong, who can likely stay put at Barca, can fill the void very well. Nico Gonzalez is a DM by trade as well. So why is the need of looking elsewhere for that? Ruben Neves have been long linked with Barca. This is not the first time we've been mentioning his name in our transfer news, even though this summer transfer window, not much has been said about him. Of course, we quite remember back in the January transfer window and even last summer, Ruben Neves' name was quite mentioned a lot when it comes to Barca's transfer news. So Barcelona want to go for him in January to try to see if they can acquire him, because Busquets' contract ends next summer and Barca don't want to act late. So let's see if it succeeds, but I don't see the essence for them doing that. Then talking about Busquets, of course, his time at Barcelona have been such a great success. He's a legend and he's likely to move to the MLS next summer, according to reports. That is his idea as it stands. And even though Busquets is not the Busquets of old, Xavi still keep prioritizing him over the other younger players, who could still play that position, which is something that I'm not really happy about, as most Barca fans are. So let's see what Barcelona decide to do, if they will really go for Ruben Neves and succeed in getting him, because the idea is not really that the best. If you want to ask me, I think we still got players, we must not necessarily waste money for transfer for other players to replace Busquets. As I said, Nico Gonzalez, Frankie de Jong are all DMs. I'm calling Frankie de Jong's name because there is still no certainty that Frankie de Jong will even depart Barcelona. He's likely to stay than leave it. So Javis can still very much consider keeping him and using him at that pivot role when Busquets' contract expires next year. Then on to the next story of discussion. Barcelona have been negotiating a salary reduction with veteran defender Gerard Piqué as they look to reduce their bloated wage bill to successfully register Jules Koundé and any other potential arrival before the transfer window closes. Apart from Piqué, Barca have also been in talks with captain Sergio Busquets as well, albeit over a wage deferral rather than a pay cut. But the negotiations have not gone according to plans as there are complications due to the veteran midfielder's contract situation. Indeed, the Barcelona and Spain captain will see his contract run out in the summer of 2023 and he does not wish to sign an extension with a club beyond that. It would mean that he would become a free agent at the end of the season. In such a situation, paying Busquets his deferred salary next year, even though he will no longer be associated with the club, is a playing capacity, who that could become complicated according to report from Cat Radio. The report states that if Barca agree a deferred salary deal with Busquets without renewing his contract beyond 2023, La Liga could create obstacles in such an operation, which could make things so difficult for the player to receive the payment he is owed. As things stand, though, Busquets has shown very little interest in extending his contract beyond 2023. The veteran midfielder who turns 34 last month, has his heart set on a move to the MLS next year after having spent his entire career at Barcelona. Given the complex situation, talks about the deferral with Busquets have seemingly stalled. It remains to be seen how Barca and their club captain decide to resolve the situation in the coming weeks. We quite remember last week when Barca were trying to, register the new signings. There was a lot of talk about further pay cuts for some veterans. Piqué and Busquets were the most talked about in that, as they reported that the veterans were open to the idea of another pay cut. Rather, I would say wage deferrals, because they will just pay them something very small, but they will be owed a lot in the future. So the idea was to approach those two veterans and talk with their agents for further pay cuts. But yesterday, I spoke about Piqué's own. They said Piqué's own is nothing is going on so far. Negotiations have taken a pause. And now the same thing that we heard about Piqué, the same thing we're hearing about Busquets, that negotiations have taken a stall. Nothing is going on as it stands. There's some for Busquets on there's a little bit of complication, with La Liga themselves as it concerns the contract of Busquets. Busquets, the problem is he does not want to renew his contract to 2024. Barca had that idea in mind that they will extend it at least to 2024 before they can move ahead with negotiations. But as it stands, nothing is ongoing and the player have not yet signed any contract or with any wage cut with a club. So let's see what will happen in the days to come. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.